Headlock fight, heels on the prowl, dropping elbows, hearing growl, feel the foul. No script here, just real, no bluff. Kayfabe crack, now the dirt gets rough. Headlocks, heels, havoc in the zone. Step in the ring, chaos is your home. No filters, no mask, just raw, bare tone. Wrestling unscripted, we on the throne. Title belts, mic checks, crowd going crazy. Drop truth bombs, leaving lines feeling hazy. Beyond the kayfabe, past the charade, where legends are born and stories get made. Headlock popping, who's hitting the mat? Welcome to the havoc where the real talk's at. Tune in, step through, leave the fake at the door. Headlocks, heels, havoc, now hear the roar.
Welcome to the weekly recap show of Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc. I'm one of your hosts, the legend J Mac. With me as always is Uncle Slam and the First Lady of Podcast Wrestling, the Viperess. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Excited.
Really good.
Well, I guess we can just dive into it. I mean, there has been a lot going on just in the past 24 hours in the WWE alone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen a few other headlines, but I mean, these releases, some of them are kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of really upset right now with the releases personally. I think that there's a lot of good talent that they just let go, and it's literally right after WrestleMania, so I'm not understanding the point of some of these releases.
What do you think? Have you seen any of the
Have
releases,
you seen
Yeah.
the
Josh?
releases?
I have seen some of them or whatever. Unfortunately, it's business is business. Their loss is somebody else's gain. So
True.
I
Very
think
true.
they're very talented. So I don't think there's any reason why they can't go someplace else and become a star. So, but yeah, it is kind of shocking, especially on some of the people that were released.
Well, I have the list of releases if you'd like.
Yeah,
to.
who all is it?
We've got Eddie Thorpe,
He's-
which has been big in
I like him.
NXT the last couple months.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't know anything about him until I got WWE 2K25.
I love Eddie Thorpe. I'm so behind him. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think he could have been really good for them. You have Riley Osborne, who was part of Chase U, but went to Evolve.
Okay, yeah. I know
Yeah,
who
I
she is.
literally
Love
just
him.
watched a match with him last week on Evolve, and now he's gone. Braun Strowman is one of the biggest upsets for me.
Now, see, I'm upset about that one, but I understand Braun.
Why is that?
I was gonna say, yeah. Why is that?
Well, because one, I didn't realize that whenever he first got into the game with the Wyatt family, he was as old as he was. I thought he was in his 20s. He's mid-30s at the time. He's pushing just a few years younger than us. So, I mean, that plus the injuries that he's had over the past few years, I think they wanted to push him for a big world title run.
Mm-hmm.
As that monster that, nobody could stop and everything.
Right.
But it was just the injuries hit at the wrong time. Then, Roman Reigns and the bloodline thing caught up. And, he just
Wyatt's
kind of,
death.
right, all that. And he just got lost in the shuffle being off TV. And when he came back, nobody was really interested in seeing the monster among men as world champion. We wanted to see the bloodline story going and what it was going to turn out to. And I think he just got lost in the shuffle. So it's kind of
Like the rest of them.
right. And I think I think for him, it's kind of a blessing because he's going to end up in AEW or
easily,
something
yes.
like that. But I'm wondering well, let me let her finish the list and
Okay,
then
go
I'll
ahead.
say what I think is going on.
We also got Shayna Baszler,
Yeah.
which she'd go straight back to MMA, which she's very good at. So.
I'm just not. I've never been sold on her.
I don't know enough to really.
She was the one that was tag teamed up with Ronda Rousey for a while.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's okay, but
I feel like she's more suited for MMA.
yes, I do too.
We also got Dakota Kai.
Now that one,
She's constantly injured. I feel bad that she is constantly injured. I just didn't see her personally going anywhere,
Right.
so I kind of understood that one.
when she's good, when she's healthy, she's good.
Yes,
But when she's just injured
she's
all
been
the time.
injured way too many times. All of Gallus Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang, they got released.
That one surprised me
It
because
did
the
me too.
Coffees are good at tag team wrestling.
Well, they just won a 3-on-3 tag team match like last week on Evolve, so I'm not really sure where they was going with that.
That one kind of surprised me.
We got Caden Carter and Katana Chance. Not really sure why they dropped that tag team. They held the NXT tag team titles for a while. They held the women's tag team titles for a while on the main roster. I'm not really sure.
See, that's two I'm not familiar with. But
they're really good. They're like high flyers. They're very energetic and explosive, and they're really fun to watch. They're really good. Cora Jade shocked me. Really shocked me, actually. Cora was just last week on TNA fighting for the for the women's title. I not really sure what happened with that. I know Cora's been injured a lot lately, and I feel bad for that too. But I'm not really sure. We also have Gigi Dolan, who was part of a tag team on NXT with Tatum Paxley.
She was bright redheaded.
Yes, she is.
Okay, yeah, I know who she is.
They had her with Shotzi.
Yeah.
That was one that kind of, not to badmouth, but one that I was shocked that didn't get released. I would have chose Shotzi over Gigi. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion. I think Gigi is better in the ring than Shotzi is. And then Jakara Jackson, which, going back with the recap on NXT, Metaphor broke up, so something was bound to happen. But those are the releases, and very sad. I don't understand the majority of them, actually. I feel like only one or two of them I can actually understand.
Some of them I get, like I said, with the Braun Strowman. But personally, was what you just said, what was it, Cora Jade, you said?
Yes, Cora Jade. That was on the TNA? Biggest shocker out of all of them for me was Cora Jade.
So, and you said she was on TNA,
right? She literally last week or the week before just fought for the women's title on TNA.
See,
she lost, obviously, but
I'm very curious with all the happenings between the WWF, or WWE, sorry, I'm old. But with all the happenings between them, TNA, and them buying AAA, I'm wondering if this isn't, if it's less of a release and more of a talent exchange.
Kind of moving, what are you talking about, like a AAA type deal, like baseball, you got like the big leagues, then...
Right. You know, like I mean, you're telling me that TNA couldn't use a Braun Strowman coming in there and just beating the teetotal crap out of Joe Hendry and taking his title?
No.
Well, yeah, I don't want that to happen either. I love Joe Hendry, you know. Got to clap, you know, and say his name. But I mean, I think that like TNA could benefit from those names on that list.
Yeah, that just got released.
And maybe it was hey, we're going to release you, but you're going to go over there and really hone your skills. And in that way, when you come back, you know, because NXT is getting to the point where NXT is not a developmental place.
Not anymore.
Well,
it's almost...
Yeah.
Right. It's on par with WWE. It's got the same production and everything behind it. So I think it's going to be more of a, you know, talent exchange, you know.
Well, they still have 30 days before any of them are allowed to actually do anything.
Right, because they got those no wrestle or no whatever contract clauses and stuff. I just think that that's what a lot of these releases are. I think it's going to be a whole lot of talent exchange. You're going to see a whole lot of these people show up in TNA, AAA, but in exchange, you're going to see a lot more of what you have here, like the Joe Hendrys and stuff,
moving up,
showing up into the WWE. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if here within the next few months you hear the WWE has bought TNA.
As long as they keep it separate, then it's fine.
Yes.
But I don't want to see I don't want to see cross promotions yet or anything like that. I don't want it to be like SmackDown and Raw where people come from one side to the other. Keep it it's its own universe or
Yes.
whatever. Like I said,
Yeah.
I keep it
Yes.
separate.
Like a TNA universe
Yeah.
and WWE.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I have a whole theory on that too, as far as like SmackDown Raw. I hate that thing. I cannot stand the fact that they try to fool you and think that it's two separate things when
It's
it's
not,
not.
really.
It's not, but it makes sense why they do it, because if you got two separate products and you're going to make more money, and sometimes competition breeds a better product. Just like back in the day when you had Raw was the dominant product and the SmackDown was like the B show, and then you had the what was it, the SmackDown 6, where like, look, we're not going to be the B show anymore. Like I said, we're going to step up and make a better product.
Right.
And then they became the better show than Raw was.
But see, that's when that's my thing. Is I think that there's still too much of that thin veil of there's not separate. What I think they should have done, instead of going the SmackDown Raw route, Vince should have said, there's money to be made with the initials WCW. Vince's ego got in the way with WCW because he wants to kill anything to do with the WCW or the NWA.
Well, yeah.
But if he would have said, okay, let's keep WCW, separate writing teams, separate titles, separate shows. Nobody on WCW's show knows what's going on Raw, or WWF show, whatever you called it at the time. Nobody on WWF show knows anything about what's going on WCW show. So then, again, like you said, there wasn't competition. So you create the competition, but you genuinely create the competition within your company to force them to be better. And either way, you win.
Yeah.
Because whichever show wins, you're still winning. That's what, like you said, if they get TNA, that's what they got to keep it separate.
They got to keep it separate.
But the only thing, WCW and WWE were kind of like two separate things. It wasn't like you could.
I want them to be separate.
I do too, but like some of the things, it's almost like apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying?
Who cares? Why can't you sell both?
I guess you got a point. I guess you got a point.
But yeah, that's just my take on that.
I don't
Anybody
know.
got any other big news or anything? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't
Get you-
understand why they're even releasing half these people anyway. Just because of the fact we literally just had WrestleMania, and you could see all over online the fact that tickets, like the bare minimum ticket was $200 for one night, and that was just for the seat. That was just for the seat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And then the higher price ones, which went on the stage, you've seen all those people. Those were all VIP seats. I mean, how much those tickets cost at least?
I think I saw somewhere where like the closer seats were up to like $15,000
that's
easily.
crazy.
I heard at one point there was ones that were like $100,
What
and
did-
that was for both nights.
Yeah.
But obviously,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's
I mean,
insane to me.
honestly, I
Did
wouldn't.
y'all see that clip of Randy Orton
getting
like,
mad because of the
getting
ticket
mad?
Yeah,
prices.
yeah.
Absolutely, I think last night
That's
his
awesome.
promo. I think his promo last night actually was partially based off of that. John Cena's complaining, earlier that he raised everybody's kids because nobody's here to raise their kids. Well, Randy Orton pops off and says, well, hey, the reason why you supposedly raise all these kids is because of ticket prices. They're all spending all this money to buy your merchandise, and these parents are having to pay or work 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to buy your merchandise. I mean, he's not happy with it either. So he's not the only superstar I've seen with a problem with the prices of different things. And like, they have all this money coming in, not to mention the fact all the sponsors and stuff, and yet you're letting this kind of talent go.
Do you think it's because they got bought out by the whole TKO?
Well, TKO's been around for a while. I mean, they've been a thing for for a while now. I think it may have to do with the AAA, the new Luchador
Promotion.
that they're doing. Like they're literally getting ready to start doing the shows, live shows and stuff like that. That literally starts, I think, in another month. They
Yeah.
were advertising it yesterday.
Yeah, but they're $1 billion company. Like, I don't think they're hurting for money.
That's what
by
I'm
it.
saying. They're
Because-
not hurting for money.
Yeah, because WrestleMania this year, I think was either what they sold the highest viewership, probably the most
It was the
ticket
highest
sales.
grossing, highest
It was like
everything.
all-time grossing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it shattered records, so
Yeah.
they're like oozing money, and,
Yeah.
and that's before you count, the concessions or the merchandising or any of that stuff.
Mhm.
So we already know how that went.
Yeah, and it goes off the charts anyway.
Oh,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where all
To
these
see
people
where all
end
this
up.
is going.
I mean, I wish them all well. I hope they end up somewhere
I
good
hope
because
they
there's
do,
a few
too.
in there that I really think's got a future.
A lot of great talent.
I think a lot of them will find homes. I think there'll be a couple that'll kind of fall off, but I think the most part, like I said, with all the different promotions going on, like I said, they'll find a home.
They'll find homes.
Especially if you have talent, like I said, and you keep at it.
hmm So, what do you think about the Seth Rollins faction that we're starting with?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't know whether or not it's going to be more of a. I'm hoping it's going to be kind of a brand split, but they're going to be joined together by The Rock. That it's going to be like two different factions trying to take over, and The Rock's going to control each. Because I'm still hell bent on Jey Uso's going to turn. I'm hell bent on Jey Uso is going to turn at some point in time, and he's going to end up joining The Rock. That's what everybody's talking about. Who the fourth man is? I think that could be it.
I could see that.
And just because the demeanor, he started wearing black again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I got a gut feeling.
Have you seen the information about the yellow? Like they're all wearing yellow.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, they're all
What-
wearing yellow. Like
what's
the
yellow
first
supposed
night,
to mean?
Seth was wearing like a whole yellow suit, and then Paul Heyman was wearing a yellow tie with a yellow little thing in his jacket, and then Braun Breaker was also wearing yellow, and then they were starting to name people that there's a few people that have been wearing specifically yellow.
Like
Yellow
who?
and black.
I can't think of anybody.
You've got well, Naomi is one of them.
Okay. See, I
but-
forget. I don't even think about them bringing a woman on and everything. And
Well, a lot of people think that Becky Lynch is going to be
I
the
can see
man,
that, yeah.
the
I
next
mean, that-
person
Yeah.
to be
That would
in
make
that
sense. Yeah,
faction,
wife.
like
Yeah.
if you're going the female route, which I feel like they should.
Well, you have to nowadays.
should.
I mean, it just makes sense.
You have to
Yeah.
nowadays, but that it might be Becky Lynch, especially with her recent turn
The heel.
on Lyra Valkyria, who I think is amazing. By the way, I love Lyra.
Yeah, I do too.
But with her turn on Lyra the other day,
Yeah, she wins.
they think that, or a lot of people seem to think Becky Lynch might be the next.
I could see it. So did y'all see the story? I don't know how true it is. I'm trying to find some sources and stuff, but there's a story coming out that Shane McMahon may be taking over.
Over WWE?
Yes.
No, I keep hearing him taking over AEW. Like, he's been signed with AEW for a while.
I've heard the AEW before. I haven't heard anything
well,
about
this one
taking
I
over
just seen
WWE.
this morning.
Oh, okay.
So I don't, like I said, I need to
Very
do
good.
some more digging on it. So don't get it twisted, people. I ain't saying that's true or anything.
Who's
I
in
just-
charge right now? Vince?
Triple H.
WWE?
Triple H?
Yeah.
Triple H is
As far as-
Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Well, Triple H is in charge of running the whole thing,
Yes.
all three shows. Sean's in charge of
Only
NXT, but The Rock is actually Vince McMahon now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the chairman of the board.
Oh.
Well, he's the chairman on TKO. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just obvious.
Yeah.
And he bought into all
Now,
the
like I knew that.
WWE,
Like I
yeah.
know he had the stake in the
Yeah,
WWE now.
he's Triple H's boss.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, something's got to be up with this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a huge like NWO-ish thing go on. I don't know. I got
Now, do you
this
see
feeling
Cena being part of this also? Or?
for a minute? But I see before his Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view, he'll see the error of his ways, or either he'll see the error of his ways, or Jey Uso, after turning, I'm sticking to this, he's going to talk The Rock into saying, hey, he's not family. Not only
Ah.
that, he was dogging you 5-10 years ago.
So like you think that they're going to put them on pace to face each other as far as a final match for John Cena's like farewell tour or whatever? That's how they're going to
I think
like send
something's
him out in the
gonna
sunset or whatever.
my new prediction is that something's going to happen. Seth is going to end up beating Jay for the title. And because nobody's going to help Jay because, Breaker and all them's going to interfere. He's not going to, because nobody helps Jay, he's going to end up saying, okay, well, I got to go where I can, do what I got to do. And by the time Cena retires, because the world title is a tester title. It's let's see how popular you are with that title before we're going to put the big WWE title around your waist.
Okay.
Put the company on your back.
Yeah.
So they've done that. It's going good with Jay. There's a lot of, popularity going with it. I think what's going to happen is he's going to drop it to Seth as a good guy. He's going to turn, and then he's going to be the one to take it off Cena at Ruthless Aggression.
Right.
And Jay's going to be the one to retire Cena at Ruthless Aggression.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was feeling more like The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had 3 matches already or 2.
I don't think The Rock's going to get back in the ring as far as like a competitor one-on-one. He might do like a tag team match or some, a one-off here and there, but I don't see him getting back in as like being the company champion.
I just see him more like a WrestleMania. He'll show up. He might cut some promos during the regular, season or whatever, and then come WrestleMania, he'll have a match. And that's it. He'll get his money or whatever. Yep. I think WrestleMania, what did he make? A couple million easy?
Oh, yeah. It was ridiculous.
I had it written down somewhere. I wish I could pull it up, but I'm pretty sure it was double digits, like at least,
that's crazy.
$8 to $10 million or more. I think it's more. So I would definitely fact check that, but
Anything else for the week?
What else? I was just going to say, what y'all think about Rusev and Aleister Black and everybody?
Love it.
All the returns.
Oh, I'm
Love
excited.
Aleister Black.
I am too. I was kind of hoping they would bring Rusev back as Miro.
No.
Just because I like the name
No.
Miro better. I don't like the Rusev.
Rusev is
and
his
everything.
real name.
yeah,
though.
that's what I like.
But they need to give him like. Some
I didn't
kind
like
of a
the fact
title
that they
run.
just threw him in there just to
show him as a monster.
it just didn't make sense to me storyline wise to throw him in there and destroy 2 tag teams. It just
You want my opinion?
by himself. I mean, I get you're trying to push him off as like this big dude,
Yeah.
and he really is, and he
Yeah.
deserves that. But 2 tag teams, it just didn't make sense to
Yeah.
me. But the Aleister Black thing, I am so over the moon for that. I'm not even kidding. Especially the fact that his wife won women's United States championship
Selena Vega.
belt the same night that he re-debuted on SmackDown. It was pretty cool actually to see that.
Well, that's all the recaps I've got. Does anybody else have any news or anything that they've heard?
Nothing I can think of.
No,
right
but
now.
we do have 1 week to Backlash.
Oh yeah, that's right. we
Exactly
do.
1 week. Doesn't
Well,
seem that quick, but
I guess the next time we come to you with a recap, we'll be talking a little bit about what happened at Backlash. So
yeah.
until then, you all have a good 2 weeks, and like I say, ring the damn bell.